So it's my absolute pleasure to introduce a new series of Life in Lockdown, and I am joined by the radiant as ever, Jane Scrivner, who's agreed to share a little bit more insight into her and to the individual behind the job role and the brands you might be familiar with her sort of touching. So Jane, welcome to this new series, and it's an absolute joy to have you here. Tell us a little bit about you. Who are you?
Okay, so I am Jane Scrivner, and together with Kevin McWilliams, who is our managing director, and I'm Jane Scrivner of Jane Scrivner, we have the skincare company. We've lived together, we've been together. He's been my partner, I never know how to phrase that, for 30 years next year.
Wow, my God.
So we are living 24/7 at the moment. We always did work together since, so we lived together, worked together, lockdown together.
Yeah.
I was born and brought up in Manchester, born in Oldham. I think it's Lancashire, I know I should know that. South Manchester. No, there's a story, it's because I was adopted, so I was born there but spent no time there.
Okay.
Brought up in South Manchester. I have an older brother and a younger sister. As of yesterday, we've always been a cat household. As of yesterday, we have a new one, but fingers crossed it hasn't got FIV, which is something I didn't know about. So, because it has to go out because we live in a beautiful old forge cottage, downsized from a big house to a small house, so nobody could come and stay. So I didn't have to make up. It hasn't seemed to work very well. Jane Scrivner in lockdown is, I think, social isolation is what I've been practicing for all my life.
I love it. I have to say, I said to my brother and sister-in-law the other day, how are you coping? They're like, we love it. We love it. We hated people visiting us all the time anyway.
Exactly. You live in a beautiful spot and you think, what have we got this weekend? Nothing. Yes. But then it's not to see friends, but at the same time, when it gets after weekend after weekend after weekend, it's quite good to have it enforced. So that's we're enjoying that. So yes, we're still together. We're still talking. And doing everything, so it's like we're back to day one when we started. I've just packed the whole order, packing boxes, scrunching tissue paper, sticking labels on batch clothes, best before dates.
Oh my goodness,
getting it right.
Fantastic. Well, listen, amazing stuff, and great. The orders are still coming in and people are still kind of going, let me have it, let me have it. Yeah, amazing.
Incredibly lucky. We didn't know which way it would go. There are 3.5 of us. So the other 2 girls are on furlough. One has kids, so it's better that she's at home anyway. But we just didn't know. We thought, are the orders going to dry up? What are they going to buy? But I think, and we've had some fantastic blogs from some very well-known people. So I think we have done really well out of this, which is, it's a bad thing to say, but I think we'll definitely be there at the other side and strong. So we feel very blessed. That's definitely.
I was going to say, that's absolutely an all testament to the work you've done sort of before this. So amazing. How do you start your day? What's kind of a good morning for you?
Oh, okay. To get out of bed the latest possible. I always think I should bring out of bed at 7 o'clock, but no. So Kevin leaves the house about 5 to 8, and the last words are, "I am getting up." So certainly in lockdown, I'm getting up and having my 2 eggs on a piece of toast, and then leaving the house and coming to work. So I like a slow start. I like a quiet start. Before this, I always used to go and have coffee in the mornings. I'd leave the house, go and have a coffee, do some social media, and then come into work. And that was my headspace.
Yeah.
And I joke about sort of social isolation, but I'm quite inside. My head is really noisy and busy the whole time. So then to have talk and conversation, that's not the radio that I have on. I have radio for the entire time. I love being quiet. I love being on my own. And, so a quiet morning for me is me doing my stuff without talking to many people. I'm going to start sounding really bad.
No, I'm going to move on. No, I'm joking. So what hobbies and interests do you have outside of kind of being Jane Scrivner? What lights you up? What type of things do you do to kind of...
Okay, I absolutely love my job, but I also love everything else that's not my job. So even though I live to work, I work to live big time. Yeah. My biggest passion is millinery. I love to make hats. And I found that a couple of years ago. I did a course and there were sort of soft cloche type hats and that. And then I very quickly realized I wanted to make the proper sort of fedoras, big Panama hats, all that blocking and stuff. So whenever I get a minute, I will make a hat. I've made hats for friends for Ascot.
Wow.
And it's a detail thing, and I'm not really a detail person,
Yeah.
but it's creative, it's making.
Yeah.
And that, so making the skincare, the making the hats, I sew a lot, I make clothes. So I like to make something or paint, or if I haven't got anything to do, I'll just take everything off the table and reset, not a dining table, but you know, your coffee book sort of thing. So it has to be visually fabulous for me. So I'll make the whole time. Some may say I'll make a mess and disrupt, but I quite like, again, working on my own and just getting into my head. And that's what I like about, I'm not an outdoor person. I am a true redhead Scorpio. I like being in a sort of an ambient temperature. I don't like wind. It's like I always say, if cats go outside, if it's windy, they don't like it. I like to be inside, doing something, hunkered down, making something. So I'm a maker.
Incredible, lovely, really creative. What makes you laugh? What kind of gets you sort of giggling?
For me, it's unexpected, actually. And I thought, actually, the thing that really makes me laugh is unexpected conversation or something. For instance, and this sounds dreadful, Gogglebox. Yeah. I just find it spectacular. The conversations that families have that you just think, it's exactly what I thought. You have articulated exactly what I thought, and it will be a burst out loud. Or sort of quite, it's not the word clever, but we are watching in lockdown The West Wing for the 4th time. And some of those conversations are just asides and quips. It's that sort of thing that really get me. So they're more bursts of sort of guttural laughter rather than giggling the whole way. But then the Edinburgh Festival quite a lot, just so that we can laugh for an entire week. So stand-up comedy, observed comedy, human beings doing funny things, but not the flipping over joke. Yeah, nice.
And we know kind of obviously the Jane Scrivner as a brand, but what's your role now? Obviously it's grown tremendously over the years and established itself. What's the part you play now in the business?
Well, you say we've grown fantastically in sales, but there are 3.5 of us. We have Danny, who does half a day a week, and then there are 3 of us doing everything else. So we literally, apart from 3 products, we still make. So I'm pouring batches. Most weeks I pour 2 or 3 batches of something. If needs be, I'm sticking on labels, but then I'm doing social media, and then the favorite part is formulating. So I joke about packing boxes, but I don't know what the word is. I know some people talk about it. It's synesthesia, where you can smell, or you put something to a number. I can formula it in my head because I know the textures of an ingredient and I know what it's supposed to do. So and then sometimes I'm having to clean the kitchen. I cleaned the fridge out the other day because it was looking pretty rubbish. So it's a very small business. We still have a hand in everything, because I think I would get really bored if I was just doing paperwork or just in the office. I like to be doing lots of different things. I can get bored really quite easily. So a bit of everything, making, back to the start, packing boxes if it's all hands to the deck, or formulating and talking to distributors and new customers. So it's a bit of everything, very varied.
Really varied. What do you love most about it? What's the thing that really kind of, you get more excited for, knowing you've now got to go do what?
Formulating, just having, I know there's a box of ingredients just arrived at our back door that the guys left there, and it's a back door that we can't open. So after this, I'm going straight down, walking around the building to get those, and I know I'll open it and start mixing it while I've got loads of other things to do. So if I start to think, oh, I wonder if that would work with that, and then you do it and you think, oh no, that doesn't work at all. So then I will potter and do that. That is my absolute favourite bit. If I could just be in a lab with the radio on and work out what works and what doesn't, and play it and find out about new ingredients, that's the best bit. And also the PR company, I quite like the reason to get on a train, although that'll change now. Go to London and just chat with people, and then come back knowing that I've sort of shared the brand with other people. It's pretty down home. It's pretty pottering about.
Amazing. And what are things that challenge you the most? What are the things you struggle with most in sort of that role?
Well, admin, I can't be doing with, you know, something that doesn't interest me. Somebody asked me recently, would I look at doing something under white label? And I sort of thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And then I thought, actually, that doesn't get that thing going where I'm sat on my iPad in the evening doing stuff. So if it doesn't do that, I have to be interested. If you want me, every time I take a box out of something, to write down how many I've removed so that the stock take at the end of the month, ain't gonna happen. You know? So I do a detail on certain things, but admin and detail, and I don't mind writing something like I write the postcards and all the marketing material, but I have somebody else check it, because once I've sort of done it, I've done it. So it's kind of, it's stuff that other people look. Kevin adores detail. He will read every contract. He knows how much we're spending on, I don't know, toilet roll in 3 years' time. If you wanted to know that from me, I may as well just pack up and go home now. So
yeah, it's not you. I'm with you. You're angry, upset, or stressed. How do you change that state? What do you do to try and kind of move yourself through that emotion or those emotions?
Probably sulk a bit, get a bit stompy, a little bit short-tempered, but you don't often see it, because again, with a Scorpio, you don't want to see the temper. It comes out, I think it's come out about 4 times in my entire life. But I have to say, about 3 years ago, I hate exercise. I think it's about, I don't like moving forward on my own legs. Put me on a bike or a horse or something like that. But the idea of going out for a walk, sorry, no. Oh no, on my 40th birthday, I said to all my friends who used to say, oh, let's go for a lovely long walk and then we'll end up at the pub. And it's like, no, I'll go in the car. I don't mind not drinking so that I don't have to do the walk. But I found exercise I like. So I found yoga, and I found the right yoga teacher, to the extent that I've been to, in fact, I went to India this year for 2 weeks, and we literally got back on the 14th of March. So I think we're the last plane out.
Yeah.
So that's, and when I just think I don't want to go, I can't be bothered to do it, I'm just feeling really dreadful. If I make myself do it, I do feel calmer and better. But as I said, it's noisy up there, so I'll talk myself into a good mood, and I'll talk myself into a bad mood as well. So it's I try and keep it internally, because it's probably not that nice to be around if it's not.
Okay. And if you could do any hobby, time and money weren't an issue, you could take up a new hobby, learn something new, what type of thing do you think you'd do?
I think if it wasn't major league millinery, of course I'd want to go right to amazing. So I'm talking millinery or, you know, Paris catwalks. If it couldn't be that, I'd probably want to go to somewhere like Jaipur in India and do fabric print and design, that sort of thing. So again, making, but just playing with color, playing with something. So I think it would be making, and it would be fabric or designing wallpaper, that sort of thing. I don't know that I'd be very good at it, but I'm assuming that if I could do anything money, no object, I'd get it.
Okay. And if you could go anywhere, so somewhere you've never been, somewhere you could go, where would you go? I think I'd quite like to go somewhere incredibly snowy, and there are 1,000. I don't want to go sort of Iceland and see the Northern Lights, that kind of thing. I'd quite like to do somewhere that is literally, you know, you see them on these documentaries. Obviously, don't want to get eaten by bears. Don't want to get too cold, so it has to be a sort of, I've got the best outfit thing on, but somewhere that is just, and also not dangerous, so I'm not going to fall through a crevasse. You know, I'm limiting my options here. Just snow, white snow, and then blue water and blue skies, and just so there's nothing but just the sounds of the creaking. I think I'd spend long there, but I just think, because I have been lucky enough through work to travel. I've been to Chile, I've seen glaciers, I've been to Morocco, I've been to China, I've been to Tokyo, I've been to amazing places, and India is beautiful. Pondicherry in India would be stunning, but I think for the real unbelievable senses thing, I think just that sort of safe snow and blue sky. I like the underlying sort of conditions though.
Riders. There's definitely some riders in there. Yeah.
Any sort of tour operators out there that can kind of guide us to where that possibly is would be really, really insightful. Amazing. Right, we're going to move on to some flashbacks, some sort of quicker questions.
Okay.
Are you most typically early or late?
I'm actually as on time as I can be. I don't like to be too early because I think that's rude, but I cannot abide being late. I hate it. I hate it. So I am on time.
Okay, great. What's the best single day on the calendar for you?
Oh, a millinery day or a formulating day.
Okay. What's the website you visit the most?
Oh, Me&M clothing.
Oh, interesting. All I've had so far, I think, is Amazon, Netflix.
If I get bored, it's like, oh, what should I wear that? Does that suit me? Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah.
What keeps you up at night?
Not much. If I'm not in bed or going to bed at 10 o'clock, I start to get a bit panicky. I can sleep 9 hours every night. So very rarely will I go to bed and read. Kevin often says that he's halfway through a sentence and I've started the sentence with him and then I'm just, so yeah. 10 o'clock at night is nothing keeps me up at night, really.
Amazing. Well, sleep's so important, isn't it? You could be any spirit animal or reincarnated in any animal. What would it be?
I would like to be a cat.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. I could see the love.
Yeah, obviously, sort of a lovely sort of cougar, puma, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but domesticated, you can just curl up in a corner quietly.
And just absolutely. I was getting that sense. What's the furthest you've ever been from home?
Oh, I have been to Easter Island.
Oh.
So we flew to Chile, to Santiago, and then I don't know if this is the furthest. I have been to Australia, but this felt like the furthest because I think Easter Island is the furthest, the most remote inhabited island in the world.
Okay.
So we flew to Santiago and then we had to fly, and I think it was a 4-hour flight, and all there was, you get that picture, plane off, and all there was blue for 4 hours, and then there was a dot, and then we landed. But strangely, it's got one of the longest runways in the world because it was one of the runways they built for the space shuttle to come down onto.
Ah, okay.
Amazing island, but I think that's possibly, if Australia geographically, that was the one that felt the most different.
Yeah.
And the most furthest away and remote.
Oh, incredible to have done it though. Huh?
Yeah.
You go to your favourite restaurant. What do you order to eat and drink?
I'm very much in the moment in a restaurant. I'm looking at what do I really fancy. So I'm going down the menu. I think, I don't really go for something different. I just go for the thing that sounds the tastiest. I really like flavour, and we do, certainly not a foodie, but I know what I like the flavour of. Yeah. And I say one of the best moments in my life is when you're in a restaurant with friends or with your partner, you've just ordered, you've got a glass of something in your hand, and sort of the next 3 hours is planned out with great food, great company, and great drink.
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely. And we're all looking forward to getting that back into our lives. So miss a restaurant. What's your all-time favourite fragrance?
Well, you see, I'm a bit of a perfume freak, so I don't know that I want to narrow that down because I have daytime, I have going out, I have evening. But I could say the one that I have bought in fact, it was the first thing I bought in lockdown, was one called Nize 10, Knize 10. And the reason I bought that is because I did a cocktail making course with a friend who bought it for Kevin for his birthday. And we made aviations, which apparently is one of the most original cocktails made for one of those female aviators.
Wow.
And it's got cherry and violet, which most people just say that is disgusting, but it's not sweet. And then the person that created it recommended that you should be wearing Nize 10 because it's a very tobacco-y, violet-y, it's a men's aftershave with a bit of a cherry, leathery finish. So I got a sample and smelt it. I thought that is divine. So that's, at the moment, it's my favourite because I haven't, obviously in lockdown, I haven't worn it. Yeah. But the idea of, and I bought all the ingredients for an aviation. So I'm going to make an aviation and wear the aftershave perfume. So that's my favourite.
I think we all need your aviation recipe. It sounds amazing. I want an aviation. What's your must-read book, paper or magazine?
I do read, I love to read Interiors magazine. I did have a subscription, but it was piling up so much that I thought I had to stop it.
Yeah.
Have anything left to decorate in the house. So my best book to read, I love, I'm not really a reader, so we went to Agatha Christie's house, I think it was summer before last, and I decided I'm going to read every Agatha Christie. So I'm going through the Poirots at the moment. I'm about 7 in, because I only actually read on holiday. And I don't really read a magazine either, I just look at the pictures. I don't know that I've read a magazine article, unless there's a small snippet about a person.
Yeah.
I just look at pictures and tear them out.
Yeah.
And somebody bought me a subscription for Traveller magazine, and I'm doing the same at the moment. I thought, I've just got to get through these. So I'm tearing great big chunks out for that time when we will be traveling again, thinking that's a great guide to that city. Yeah. So I'm not a reader, I'm a looker at pictures. But it's, those sorts of things. So yeah, Poirot, Traveller and Interiors.
Interesting. What's your favourite song to sing out loud to at the moment?
Anything. I'm not a music person. What am I if I'm not all these things? I like talking, and Kevin will play music all the time. When we get home, I watch TV, he plays the guitar, and he'll play guitar in any room in the house. We haven't got that many rooms, but he's got a guitar in each one. But if a track comes on from when I was at college, he is amazing. I can almost sing every word, and I've never learnt them. Yeah. And it wasn't days from that magazine, this is showing my age now, where they used to give you all the lyrics. I can't remember that. Top Hits or something. Yeah. But for some reason, the lyrics go in. So right the way through from the Beatles, Barbara Streisand, to not much very modern. I always thought if I ever had to do Desert Island Discs, my music taste would bury me. I would, Spice Girls, Gary Barlow, a bit of disc, and always end a party with George Michael, I suppose. So you got George.
There's no better way to end a party.
No.
I'm with you. I love it. What TV programs have you binge watched recently? Anything?
Yes, we're halfway through the set of The Windsors, so that's that kind of observational, outrageous comedy. I cannot believe they got away with it, and I'll still get away with it. As I say, we're binge watching The West Wing for, I think it's the 4th time. Kevin thinks it's the 3rd time. I think there's 130 hours of that.
Wow.
And it's, you think you know how America is run. By the time you've watched that, you have no clue, but you just think, wouldn't it be fantastic if they did a version with Trump in the White House? That would be something to watch.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, again, things like The Thick of It, we watched a bit of that. I'm not great on scary. Like, I'd love to have watched Peaky Blinders, but it just freaks me. So no. So I said at the moment we're on Windsors and West Wing.
Nice. And what's your favourite film of all time?
High Society.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Grace Kelly.
Go on.
No, I was going to say Grace Kelly and that sort of, Frank Sinatra, the costumes, the look, the feel, the tone, the pace, just beautiful.
Yeah, just classic, aren't they? Just classic sort of feel good. Do you have any irrational fears? Apart from sort of holes?
Not having done my coursework. Okay. And I think that's probably testament because I never had done my coursework. So if I wake up in the morning thinking I haven't done it, they're going to kick me off the course, then the best bit is waking up going, hang on, I'm not on a course. Yes. No, it is. It's about not having done homework. And I think I used to get to school and do homework on the steps of the school. I didn't see much. I always say I didn't learn much at school, but I must have done. I didn't see much point. I just thought it was a place I went to and saw my friends all day. Yeah. The lessons were kind of just like, oh, we're in this room now, are we? And I did get told when I left school that my main finished report was she has to realise she won't get everywhere on her smile. So obviously they picked up that I wasn't that focused either. So there you go.
Well, I always say you've got to blame the teacher, never the student.
Exactly. Yes.
Huh?
It was their job, not mine.
It was absolutely, absolutely their job to engage. Yeah. Where's your favourite place to go to deeply relax?
Home, home. Every time you go away for a weekend or stuff, and just when you get back through the doors, you just think, actually, it's lovely to be away, but it's really nice to be at home. And I think now that not having that contrast, I think I'll be more appreciative of both. I'll be more appreciative of going to, and also other friends' homes. So it's not just my home.
Yeah.
Going to friends' homes for supper, or going to friends' home to stay for the weekend. So I think people's homes where they're relaxed, you're relaxed. And by now we've known them for so long. It is like your other homes, wherever you are. So I think home or homes is the best place.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. You can only have one beauty product in your bag. What must it be?
You see, technically I should say one of ours. I should say Nourishing Cleanser. But I think if I found a way to look after my skin, I think it would have to be lip gloss.
Yeah.
Because even though my eyelashes are completely blonde, so I have them tinted, and we're right at the end of that now. They are literally just sort of, and in fact, I also wear lash extensions normally. But I think you can completely cheer up a face if you're eating well and your skin's okay, and you're applying, even if you had no skincare like olive oil or something. I think just a little bit of lip gloss does you good. So that would be my beauty product. My skincare product, whole different ballgame.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. What spa treatment or experience do you wish you could have right now?
I wish, strangely, I could have a full body cold stone treatment from Tina Pliszek, who lives in Wisconsin in the States. It was a treatment when I learned a million years ago, a certain treatment using heated and cooled stones. Everybody hated the cold stones, and Tina was known as the ice queen. So I said to her one day, I said, I quite like the cold stones. And she said, well, obviously I do, because it's like when you have a cold shower, you're really warm after.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and we weren't anywhere particularly warm, and I had a full hour, or probably, knowing Tina, an hour and a half of cold. It was the most invigorating, cleansing, kind of purging. So yeah, if I could have a treatment now, if the room was set up and relaxing and Tina was there with cool stones, that would be amazing.
Amazing, lovely. Well done, Tina. It's always great, isn't it, as a therapist, if you can have someone sort of so wholeheartedly go, I want you and you doing that treatment.
I'll fly to you as soon as the planes are up. I'm coming.
Yeah. You're coming. She's there waiting. Yeah. Who has inspired you or does inspire you the most?
There are a few. When I was working my first jobs, there were two women who completely terrified me, but set me up for life. I did a year out at IBM, and I was in charge of key clients or something. And there was a lady called Bev Mullen. I was a student, and she was sort of a senior manager. And I knew very quickly that if I went into her office to have a meeting about something and I was not on it, it was not worth. At the same time, though, she was the first person I ever knew to have nail extensions. I thought she was so glamorous. So I learned from Bev, you just have to do your job well and be on it.
Yeah.
And then when I got my first job in advertising, I worked for a girl called Nikki Hughes. And whenever we shared offices of like 4 people, and when Nikki's shadow came into the doorway, it's like, what haven't I done? So she was kind of like, Bev had sent Nikki to sort of make sure I carried on. So I think those two women inspired me. And then going forward, anybody that just does, women with children. I don't have children by choice. For some reason, I had a ticking clock for about 3 seconds when my sister had my niece, the first baby in the family. But I've never had that. So women that Danny comes to work having got kids to school in the morning. That would have finished me off for a week. So, people that just get, and people that have faced adversity and then just get on with it. Because I don't know, I've been up against it a few times and have come back, but people that just do stuff and get on with it and step up, they inspire me every day. When you hear a story like that, you think, okay, I've got some work to do. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. What was the best and worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, I don't listen to advice very much. I don't know.
I'm not surprised me, Jane.
I wonder if anybody's dared to give me advice. Can you imagine? Like, okay, thanks. I might have to pass on that. Let me think. Best and worst piece of advice. Maybe the best piece of advice is Jane won't get everywhere on a smile, because it's like red flag to a Scorpio. Okay, we'll show you. So maybe that was the best.
Yeah.
Worst advice, it'd be me telling me to do something, because I do tend to I'll find a way to have it work the way I want it to, and then if it goes really badly wrong, it is my fault. So yeah, if that's an answer.
Yeah, no, good. What was the most memorable gift you've received?
I don't know. I don't know about the most memorable gift, because I don't know the answer to that. I want to say, when Kevin and I have been together for 10 years, he bought me a beautiful ring that he'd had made. And I don't wear it very often. It's my only diamonds, because I did say, if we're not going to get married, because again, I didn't want kids and didn't want to be married. What am I like? No commitment. But it was the most beautiful ring. It had a diamond in each end, so you could only see them when they were facing each other. But it sounds like it's a material thing, but it was kind of something that was made from the heart, and it was absolutely, and it was so me, and it was one of those things that sort of shows you, oh, okay, he does get me for all the grief I give him. So whilst I don't wear it every day, I do sometimes remember I should wear that. But yes, I don't know, I've had thousands of amazing, even gifts when I've got a friend at the moment who, because she's on furlough and we're working, she's coming around today, and she puts a meal in the fridge that we make to manage about 4 nights. So I don't have to cook for 4 nights. And that's kind of just about, I said, you will continue this, won't you? When you're back running your business full time with 17 therapists, you will put food in my fridge, won't you? So yeah, so maybe it's the unexpected. But having said that, if I get a birthday and there aren't any gifts, then it's like, okay. So yeah, so I'm probably, maybe I need a bit more time to think of that. But I think that the 10-year ring was fabulous.
Yeah,
really beautiful.
That sounds very beautiful. But also, I love the fact that somebody's putting food in your fridge. I think I need to live next door to her. I'm like, if only. They say everyone has a book in them. What would yours be about?
I've always thought, because I think if you think about your own life, I've always had in my head, and in fact, I've started it a couple of times, but never got any further, because I don't think it's relevant. I think it would be called A Normal Life, because when you start to write down what's happened in your life, nothing's normal. It's unusual how much everybody has done something that's, oh my God, really? People will tell you a story, I didn't know that about you. Yeah. So there is the book that hasn't been written, because I have written quite a few books, but they've all been factual, like detox and how to do treatments and things. I think the one that is probably very indulgent is one that I would call just A Normal Life, and then track it through, and you think, I'm 56, it's kind of, we've done a heck of a lot of stuff.
No, sorry, I can't stumble over that. 56, you can't possibly be 56.
Well, that's how you get to
35 years old.
You get to write a book on a normal life, because you realise, jeepers, I've got less to go than I've had. And that's when you think, oh, that's a really strange feeling, when you realise because 56, 66, 76, I know hopefully I'm going to go on and be very healthy like my father is, he's 89, but that's still only 30 years, which is way less than you've done. And you don't count the first 15 because you don't remember them, but of course they're important. But you do sort of think, jeepers, done quite a bit, don't think I've achieved anything at all. But then when you start to put it on paper, you think, okay, but I'm still frustrated that I haven't really done anything with my life, which is ridiculous.
Which is beyond ridiculous. You've done amazing stuff.
I know, but when it's what you do on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
it's not just what you do. You get up in the morning as late as possible, you do it, and you get into bed at 10, which is, you know, and it's what you do.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think the book is just to go back maybe and realize, yeah, I did some stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I think you definitely need to write that for yourself now you've said. Amazing. Right. A couple of questions specific about life in lockdown. So what's the most bizarre or craziest thing you think you've done since life in lockdown?
It's not what I've done, it's what I haven't done. I have organised spice rack envy. I've bought 3 clothes rails, £7.99 from IKEA. They arrived on Sunday, and I want to put them up in the spare bedroom and sort my wardrobe that everybody else has done in lockdown, and I haven't done because I've been at work every day. So I've got organisation envy is the craziest thing I've got. Who knew? I mean, I am quite organised, but I am just, it's like, how could you have done that? You tidied your drawers. I need to do that. Yeah, so I haven't actually done much that's lockdown relevant, but I'm wanting to do quite a lot of lockdown relevant.
So we're seeing organisation. Yeah, I keep seeing friends that are posting pictures of organised fridges. I'm like, that's a step too far, even if you've
No, yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I mean, you know, how unorganised can your fridge be anyway?
I'm just sort of making myself happy by thinking, well, in a week's time, that spice rack is going to be all over the show again. So just step away from it. Step away from it.
Step away. Life is way too short, I think, for organising spice racks and fridges. But yeah. What's the biggest lesson you've learned since life in lockdown?
You can get through it, I guess. It's the biggest lesson I've learned. We will have no idea how this has affected everybody for millions of years to come. I just think you just get your head down, and whatever it has given you, you've just got to do it, because there's nothing we can do. And it just shows you that we were probably so close to this sort of thing happening that it's just like, don't fight it, just let's get it through, work out a way so that when it happens again, and it will, not necessarily in our lifetime, but just get your head down, don't try and fight it, just be with everybody, respect everybody, and let's get through it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more you can learn from it, and I don't know, maybe that's very naive, because I have been affected by it, obviously, but I'm not sat at home concerned for my job, which is phenomenal. I haven't got children at home that are bored and I have to entertain them. I'm not at home concerned about the fact that I'm locked in a flat with somebody I don't get on with, and that could turn any minute. So I suppose the biggest lesson I've learned is that I'm incredibly privileged in this situation and lucky in this situation. So yeah, I mean, I'm just hunkering down, head down, and just plowing through.
Yeah, absolutely. As a wellness industry, what do you think or hope that we're going to do more or less of as a result from learning, you know, to live through something like lockdown?
I think the industry is incredibly good at cleanliness, at sanitizing. So I really hope that the government respects that we weren't behind the door on that. We absolutely know about cleanliness, we know about hygiene, we're intelligent people. I know the industry sometimes, certainly it used to get a bit of a knock, but looking at all the people I know that are running salons, the work they're doing, putting up screens, making sure there are masks, making sure there's sanitary, more than there always was, I believe, and also because it's one-on-one treatments, it's not a crowd environment, certainly in some spas, but because of the fact that you go for tranquility, I think that actually we should be one of the quicker people back, because it's the feel-good factor. It's just those little self-care things, like having a manicure, like having a facial, using everything that we've always observed, the cleanliness, the hygiene. Yes, there's going to be masks involved for the therapist, hopefully, a face mask as well as a protective mask, but the place is clean. I think we could come back stronger, but I would hope that we're not the ones that are left till the back end of June and July. I think if you can prove certain standards, you should be opening up and getting people through and looking after their skin, looking after their well-being, looking after that conversation, because again, for a lot of people, their therapist is their therapist.
Yeah.
You know, That little bit of feeling good, the difference it makes to have, for me, to have manicure and lashes, I just could conquer the world.
Yeah.
So, and I know that sounds a bit light-hearted, but I do think get back sooner and we're respected for all the standards that we already observed.
Yeah.
That would be a fabulous thing.
Yeah, and I think I completely agree with you. I think realising the power well-being has, not just in the indulgent pampering and superficial or aesthetic, but even those, you know, more superficial aesthetic treatments have really deep-rooted emotional, you know, sort of strength for people, and give them power, confidence, and capabilities that they might not have otherwise.
And also, at all those levels, as well as the physical transformation, you know, body massage is getting the muscles going, because if people haven't been able to be out much, getting the muscles back into, you know, condition, having massage, having any form of treatment, anything that stimulates and gets the blood moving that isn't the gym, that kind of thing. I think it's underestimated, the impact, as like you say, emotionally, physically, psychologically, of a treatment, of hands-on touch. We are moving away, you know, they're talking about we won't be hugging each other anymore. So that close-on hugging may go, but the physical, sensory touch is really, really important. And I think that could be something that helps with mental health, and all that, you know, going right the way along the line, that having that, you know, body work, facial work, even just a manicure, just holding hands. I was talking to somebody at the weekend who works with Perspex, makes the shelving for the nail polish. So he's got the Perspex, so he's making those, the screens, and he's cutting things so that the manicurist, the nail tech, can sit there. You've got the big screen like they've got in Waitrose and Tesco's, with the big arch for the hands to go through. So it means that interaction comes back sooner. So it's those sorts of things. I think the industry is very good at being innovative.
Yes.
So I think hopefully people will survive and it will come into its own.
Yeah. Amazing. Listen, Jane, I could carry on for hours talking with you. I am absolutely thrilled to have you on our sort of Life in Lockdown series. Thank you so much for indulging me in answering all of our sort of questions. I know our viewers will love to sort of listen to them too and be inspired by you and everything that you've done. And I'm still absolutely blown away. You can't possibly be 56. I now need all of your skincare secrets to kind of get me through. But you look amazing, and it's been an absolute joy to have you with us.
Thank you so much. It's been fabulous. I'll go back down to packing boxes and sticking labels on now.
You enjoy. Take care. Lovely to see you. Thanks, Jane.